I was talking to a brother the other day, Mike Jones, and we had a discussion about our support. We don't support our stuff. We don't support Hispanic stores.
And it's with the Hispanics too, because you know, I mentioned to you earlier, I'm from Brooklyn, New York originally, and I moved out here, and I moved to the West Side. First I lived in Menor, and then I was like, oh well, did that for a little while, and then came back over here to Cleveland to the West Side, and I noticed that they're not even in unity like they should be.
But why is that? But why is that?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that is not the music of the show. We did not change our format. That's some sound music. I'm like, what is that? They're playing some opera music.
I think it was my laptop. I apologize for that.
So the reality is, all of us have these conversations. You know what brought it up more than anything else? I'm glad that Trump won the election, right? In a sense.
What was that?
Because I promised not to use the president's name in vain. I promise not to use it.
No, we gotta respect. That's our president, no matter what.
Not yet. Not yet. So you can go hard until about January.
Boy, I got some stuff to talk about after he's done.
Yeah. So the reality is, we need to own our stuff. And so let me preface it by saying this: we are not saying that we won't support white business. It doesn't actually stupid to say we won't do that. But let's just face it, they know and they're quite aware of it. I went through something the other day and I know they're aware of it, and we'll talk about that a little later. We need to support our own community because the tax dollars in our community stay in our community. But if we're not spending money in our community, they can't stay in there because there's none there, right?
Absolutely. That is the key. We need to make sure that we are supporting each other. That's why I reached out when I reached out to you because I learned from a friend of mine who was actually doing a movie. So I'm hitting it. I don't care if you go to Cleveland, if I go to New York, if I have to fly to Aruba, wherever my people are putting something together and I know you, I'm going to be there to support you. And we do have, but we're systematically trained not to. We all have that facade to where we want to go out to a better neighborhood instead of creating and fixing the neighborhood that you came out of.
Well, I'm going to say a little something about that. Excuse me, I'm going to say a little something about that. When you try to, the only bad thing about that, and I'm only speaking for experience, I tried that and I got everything taken away from me, everything I work hard for. You go back into a community and you got nice things and you're working hard for what you want, and then you're in your own community and they come in and take what you have. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, but they'll take what you have in any community. Don't get it twisted. I mean,
well, when I went to a more upper class community, it didn't happen like that because we're all in one mindset, one system that, hey, we're all working hard. We're going to work for ours. We have ours. You have yours. I'm not going to take yours because I have what you have.
What are you saying?
And I'm just saying
go ahead.
And I'm telling you because of my experience.
There's a police department for a reason in the upper class neighborhoods. Just because you are not that victim for that particular time, do not believe for 1 second that crime is not happening all across the country in every area.
You're right, and I'm not talking statistically all over the world. I'm just talking about my experience because I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I came from the projects of Brooklyn, New York. And, I left there, I got successful, I did what I had to do, I moved to another area, and I was like, you know what, no, I want to be around my peoples, and I'm talking about the Hispanics, the Puerto Ricanos, I want to be around my people, I want to be around, because I'm missing, so I go back there, and then, once, and it's not because they want to do it on purpose, it's because being in a poor neighborhood, everybody's trying to live. I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot of things involved with that, but I'm just talking about my experience.
So let me say to both points. To both points is this, okay. We've been in this corner. I thank God for and I'm just going to say it out loud. I thank God for the Woodland, Mount Carmel, Notre Dame area.
But you live where you live at.
But watch this. What I'm saying. I thank God for these people. Because my family don't have to sleep here. But if anything happens over here, they call us. That's no lie. And we've been here since the 70s.
Okay, but
And hold on. We've been here since the 70s. They don't, for the most part, you have incidents here and there. For the most part, we don't have any problems. But some of that comes from the person that runs it. You already know who he is. You already know where he stands from. But you have to make that claim right away. Say, look, I'll help you, but if you take from me, you're going to pay a price for it. Okay? It's a shame you have to do that. And in their defense around the neighborhood, we've had to exchange favors to help one another because they like having us open and having us available when they need us too, right?
Absolutely.
But to Nancy's point, park a car out there and leave something on the front seat that's not valuable and leave the door unlocked.
I don't know, go to a Batman movie in the white area and see if he's walking out. So I'm just saying. So wait a minute. Don't get it twisted, man, because I love mine. But let's be clear. We have to understand that you can support the black community. You can support the Latino community. You can do both. It doesn't mean that at every point you have to actually live in the heart of where the crime is the highest. So I don't want to sound ridiculous when I say that. But at the end of the day, if I come from a particular area, I believe that I owe that area. So I'm going to work. And if I don't live in the area still, I'm still going back to work in that area.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a point somebody brought up yesterday.
Because I mean, Evie, where you was born around here.
No.
You was born here.
No.
You was raised here.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, and but where you live now?
I don't live here.
Right. Now you don't want to talk about where you live at.
Right.
Where you live at?
No, I ain't doing all of that. Right.
That's my point.
The point is.
But no, and it's sad, and I know what you're saying, Kurt, and I know what Evie's saying. Like I said, I lived in Menor, and I moved from after I raised my kids, they went to the good school systems and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I didn't want to stay there because I want to be around my people. I'm used to New York. It's all multicultural. I live now on the west side, and it's all, I have white, black, Puerto Rican, Chinese, all that's my neighborhood. And I love it. I haven't had a problem. Not at all.
I think it goes to your point. It depends on where you.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think so. Maybe I can go out on a limb and say that strategically, the police have not reacted in areas where they should react to make the people feel safe.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to have a little discussion about that because starting on the show today, I'm going to be pushing some points as of today from this format that we need to purge our community of people that no longer are responsible. And if I have to start calling them out by names, I'm willing to do that. We need to start purging our neighborhoods of people that have done nothing but rape our neighborhood. It is a bad word to use, but we've watched ministers of Christ push people who have no view and acceptance of Christ, right? And I don't really, the issue with Donald Trump being pushed is not an issue, but what is your purpose and why do we pay you? We pay you as the people in the congregation to minister the things of God. That's the only reason why you're popular and famous.
Absolutely.
Okay? If you're a councilman, we pay you to take care of the neighborhood, not to do corrupt measures and buying illegal property and flipping it and doing all these shenanigans. Those of us that have a choice at media, we ought to do better at voicing it. We got to do better at pointing them out. We're so scared that they're going to come after us. We're so scared. Bring it on. Bring it on. Yeah. What do you say?
I'm not from Cleveland, so before I get off the radio, could I say who the name was?
No, not yet.
But do you still live here? Do you live here now in Cleveland?
No, I'm just saying. He's community based. I'm not, so I can let it hang.
Do you find the same thing in Columbus?
I find it in Columbus and Dayton. It's all the same, but you have to be able to recognize. And for me, what I do with my books, the same thing I do with my speech. I will always tell you what the problem is, but I'm always going to tell you a solution at the same time.
Okay.
And that's what it needs to think. So
come back.
Come back right here. Keep it right here. That's nice. Nice. Give me the two names of the books. I want to keep it in their head. One Step Ahead and Powerball Conspiracy. Powerball Conspiracy.
How can people connect to find out?
I'm on Amazon. I'm also on Kurt Wallace at Facebook. And I'm also on Kindle right now.
Kendall, that's a bad boy. So this song is called Jack and Jill's Radio. Jack and Jill. Keep it right here. We got a few more minutes with Nancy. I promise she won't take over the show. She's got Caliente Topics coming up. And why are you going to be like that?
Because I always take over the show.
Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill by Radio right here. Guess what radio?
Hey there, brothers and sisters. This is E.B. Smith. Real Talk is me helping you by giving you information. I know you will be inspired to be a greater you. And with a greater you, our communities are better and our world is better. But I want to reach more people. To do that, I need your help. Will you subscribe and share my videos? Tell everyone what we're talking about here on Real Talk. Another way to partner with me, donate $1. That's donating just $1. Go to PayPal and send ebsrealtalk@gmail.com. Go to PayPal, donate $1, send ebsrealtalk@gmail.com. Since we don't like the world we live in, let's change it together. Thank you. Writing a book can be daunting, but once you get past the daunting, there's always the cost of getting it published. And many times that usually holds people up from doing it. Uptown Publishing is offering supporters of EB's Real Talk a wonderful opportunity to have their books published for only $250. That's 75% of the regular standard publishing package price. You supply the book cover art, a synopsis of your book, and your pre-edited manuscript, and here's what you'll get. 100% control of your book, 100% profits from your book, and your own dashboard. That's $250, which is 75% of a regular standard price. 100% of control of your book, 100% of profits. If you're interested in it, go to uptownmediaventures.com. Go to uptownmediaventures.com and go to the Contact Us page and put in EB's Real Talk. Or mention EB's Real Talk via email at uptownliterary@gmail.com. That's uptownliterary@gmail.com. Congratulations to all of you to your future as an author.